Some NFL players find it extremely tough to retire, while certain players like Peyton Manning can retire on top after winning a Super Bowl. However, that is only the case for some players in the game. Instead, they frequently switch up rosters, since no one wants to sign them, forcing them into retirement. NFL retirements often stick, in contrast to pro wrestling. However, these players have been recently linked to rumors of comebacks. But only some players fall into that category, because there is a little area of overlap between the two camps. Some fans and clubs didn't want to believe that some NFL stars had retired. Thus, there were whispers that they might come back. 10. Drew Brees. Drew Brees' NFL career came to an end in 2021 after a playoff loss to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The former All-Pro definitely had injury difficulties, and his arm was broken, so his final season was a little tricky. He changed his career to become an analyst after retiring. Unfortunately, Brees lost his job at Sunday Night Football the following season because the position didn't last. Some questioned if he would play again because of that, and the injuries the New Orleans Saints were experiencing. Despite those discussions, the signature was never completed. Brees, the first quarterback to throw for 5 seasons with at least 5,000 passing yards, retired as a Super Bowl champion, the career leader in passing yards in the NFL, 80,358, and a lock for the Hall of Fame. Still, the poignant farewells on social media from Saints fans and former teammates alike are more personal odes than data recitations. 9. Julian Edelman. Fans were astonished when Julian Edelman announced his retirement from the New England Patriots after the 2020 season. The pass catcher was obviously serious, but because of the time of his declaration, there were immediate speculations that he wasn't finished. The wideout even made light of the prospect, but he never came receiver of retirement. It was because of Rob Gronkowski and Tom Brady, 2 of Edelman's friends, were busy winning Super Bowls in Tampa Bay. What would it take to get Julian Edelman back into the game? A highly particular set of circumstances. The former wide receiver for the Patriots announced his retirement in 2021, and there have been numerous comeback speculations. If the perfect chance presented itself later this year, Julian Edelman hinted he would unretire, like his former Patriots teammates, Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski. 8. Andrew Luck. When it comes to unexpected retirements, Andrew Luck most definitely tops the list. Injuries forced the former Indianapolis Colts quarterback to retire. During the 2019 preseason, fans refused to believe it because of his age and excellent play. Luck has repeatedly been the subject of rumors over the past few off-seasons, and if the Colts have enough weapons, he may decide to come back. But the former Pro Bowl quarterback said in a rare public interview in December 2022 that he had no plans to return. The Colts quarterback Andrew Luck's abrupt retirement at age 29, just 2 weeks before the start of the season, was still shocking. It was not the first time a young player has left the sport ostensibly in the prime of their career. Numerous have done so in recent years. 7. Brett Favre. Most NFL players only ever retire once, and when they do, it's a significant thing. Athletes don't retire, change their minds, and go through the same process repeatedly, like in professional wrestling. However, based on his retirement choices, Brett Favre appears to be a wrestling fan. Aaron Rodgers' injury in 2017 sparked rumors that Favre would join the Green Bay Packers again. Before finally giving up in 2011, Favre retired and then re-retired many times. Despite this, he frequently engaged in return-related conversations. Brett Favre has long been among the most beloved players in the NFL. He was easy to root for, since he was tough, talented, and always willing to put his team before himself to win a game. But in recent years, how people view Favre has altered. Fans no longer imagine Favre as the recluse superstar they once did, when they imagined him as one of the few players who didn't want or desire constant attention. 6. Larry Fitzgerald. Unlike other athletes, Larry Fitzgerald didn't take the typical retirement. Despite being one of the greatest pass catchers in NFL history, he ended his career with the Arizona Cardinals after a subpar 2020 campaign. Even though he wouldn't officially retire for more than a year, there were whispers that he might return. Many people believed Fitzgerald wasn't done because the Cardinals, led by Kyler Murray, would be Super Bowl candidates in 2021. His foot and ankle injuries became an issue halfway through the season. Instead of retiring after the 2018 playoffs, Luck waited until August to announce his decision. 5. Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee is among the most famous former NFL players today. McAfee retired in 2017, despite having good punting ability, because of other chances off the field. Since he was so skilled at the job, there were long-running speculations that he might return. There were persistent reports that McAfee would join the faltering Pittsburgh Steelers 2020, who was from his hometown. They chose to sign Jordan Berry instead. Therefore, that didn't happen. The choice has been in the works for some times, and McAfee has had 3 knee surgeries in the last 4 years. His departure will create a significant vacuum in the locker room and field. The 2-time Pro Bowler is considered one of the game's best punters and is an expert at onside kicks. 4. Philip Rivers. In 2020, Philip Rivers announced his retirement after a fantastic one-off season with the Indianapolis Colts. The former Chargers quarterback decided to retire to spend more time with his family and start a coaching career, even though he was still excellent at the position. However, there were whispers that he would come back the following season, maybe with the injury-riddled New Orleans Saints. Rivers later acknowledged that while he was fascinated by a comeback, it didn't take place. 3. Brandon Jacobs. Brandon Jacobs played in the NFL from 2005 to 2013, primarily for the New York Giants. Even though his career was successful and he had 2 Super Bowl rings, there were always whispers that he would come back. But it took some time. Jacobs admitted in 2021 that he was considering returning to the NFL, but this time as a defensive end. In the end, he never returned from retirement. Jacobs was a fan favorite and held the respect of those around him, despite never being among the league's top performers. Throughout his career, the 9-year veteran has dealt with injuries that later his retirement. 2. Adam Vinatieri. Adam Vinatieri is one of the finest kickers in NFL history and a lock for the Hall of Fame. He retired in May 2021 at 48. Making him one of the oldest players in football history. He last played in 2020. Nobody questioned Vinatieri's retirement at the time, but there were speculations he would return the following year. But he didn't come back. The kicker shared a photo of himself at the Indianapolis Colts practice field in 2022, which is the reason. 1. Rob Gronkowski. Rob Gronkowski announced his retirement for the 2nd time after the 2021 season with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Even though he was still one of the NFL's top tight ends, he believed it was time and was happy with his career. However, as soon as he declared, whispers that Gronkowski might return started circulating. Since then, the tight end hasn't played football again, although he has made jokes about it on social media. He informed his fans that he left the game due to health issues. He recently reiterated that retirement is retirement and said he was enjoying his time away from the field. Although rumors abound due to Gronkowski's tendency to return. Gronkowski thinks his previous team can be a legitimate Super Bowl contender and is not concerned about their prospects of making the playoffs. It was our list of NFL players who could be out of retirement. Which one of these players would make an impact coming out of retirement?
Stafford rolling in